welcome to my first GameMaker Studio tutorial. Basically what we're going to do in this tutorial is make a very simple physics-based platform game, and we'll use the built-in physics in GameMaker. So you're going to want to start by we're going to create a couple sprites. One for the player, and those will be simple blocks, and then one for the ground objects. So we'll do SPR player, and then we'll do edit sprite, make a new one, just leave it the default size. Open that up and then just color it, I don't know, whatever color you want. We'll go with green. Check mark, good to go. And then we'll create a second one, SPR block, SPR, I just did that for stand for sprite. Edit, same thing. And then we'll just make that one black. Check mark, okay. Then we're going to make our objects, and we'll have, as you guessed, OBJ, that's object, player, set it to the player sprite, and then we do want it to use physics, so we hit that check mark. We have to change our collision shape to a box, so check box, modify collision shape, and then just make sure we got that all in the correct positioning. Then we're going to set some physics properties. You don't have to do this, but just play with the settings and make it look good. But you won't know that until we get our movement code in. We'll just go for that with that for now. Create a second object. This will be object block. Pick the block sprite. This will also use physics. Now, this is important. You have to set this density here to 0. That way it doesn't move. It won't fall from gravity or anything. And then we will do box, and then do modify your collision shape, make it the right size again. Okay. Check mark, okay. And then this is just our prep. We'll make a room here really quick. This is where our physics the whole game will take place. So we're going to call this RM in game just for now. Let's make it some 640 by 480. That'll be our size for that. And then you got to click on this physics tab right here. And then we're going to, room is a physics world. And then we want to set our Y, which is our gravity for our Y, to 20. And then we can go ahead and place some objects in here. Just make some general shapes for our player to move around on. He's going to collide with these blocks, so you can just place them around wherever you see fit, wherever you would like. Doesn't really matter too much as long as there's something to run around on. I'm just going to fill it in because it looks nicer that way. If you have a middle mouse button, you can drag with that, which makes that a little easier. Zoom in and out with the scroll wheel, which mine has a clickable scroll wheel, so it's the same idea. Okay. Then we'll grab our player. You have to go to the objects tab to be able to place these objects. We'll just drop him right there. Okay, we're done with that, so we hit our little check mark. Next up, we're going to make a script, and this script is going to be our full player movement. So we're going to name that, as you probably guessed, player movement. Okay. And it's always good to throw a couple comments in here. So we'll do that so we know what this is. Player movement script. And then we're going to have a couple arguments. So we're going to say what these arguments are. Argument 0 is going to be the force to apply for movement. Argument 1, if I can type, is going to be the force applied for jumping. We'll do argument 2, which will be our rotation lock. And then we got argument 3, and that will be our max speed. Okay. So to start, we have to declare some variables that will hold all our arguments. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll do force equals argument 0, and jump force equals argument 1. Rotation lock is going to be argument 2. Then we'll have max speed is going to be argument 3. Okay. And then we're going to start with some of our code, which first up we're going to do our rotation lock, which basically will keep our object from rotating as he moves, because it's a physics object. So right now, if you apply force to it, it'll spin off and flip around and do it. We don't really want it to do that. So we'll do if rotation lock is true. We want physics fixed rotation property to be true. So that'll keep him from rotating. But it'll only do that if we set the rotation lock to true when we declare our, or use our player movement script inside the player, which we'll do in a moment after we get all our code done. And then we went if. This is for our jumping, so you can only jump while he is on physically touching the ground. Object block, that's going to be our ground object. So if he's touching that, we'll be good to go, and he will be able to jump. And then we'll do keyboard check. Oh, can't type again. Board capital W. And this is checking basically if we're hitting the W key, and we're going to apply a force when we do that. Physics, apply force. X physics position Y. No force on the x-axis, but on our y-force we will do our jump force. We'll multiply that by -1. Basically that way we go up. We're subtracting our force. Okay. Then next we're going to move into the left and right movement, which we're going to use A and D for that. So if keyboard check, same thing except different button. Okay, we'll do physics, apply force, and this is where we're going to apply our force for moving left, the A key. So we will do force times -1 and 0. And then we'll be doing these opposite. We basically won't be multiplying it by -1 for the other direction. So physics, apply force. Physics, position X, physics, position Y, force, 0. Okay, so we got that all done. So that's our left and our right movement. You can even comment that in there if you want. You just do 2 forward slashes and then type your comment, but it'll only be 1 line. So you can go ahead and do that if you want to keep track of what everything is. And next we need to limit our speed so we don't go just constantly increasing. So we'll do if physics speed X is greater than our max speed, we want to, oh, I thought we spelled that wrong for a second. We want to do physics speed X equals our max speed. So that will stop us from going too fast to the right. And then we will do if physics speed X is less than max speed times -1. That'll make it negative, so we're going the opposite direction. So if we're going to negative, we're going to set it back to the max speed times -1. And voila, that will limit him that way. And that is our player movement script. Make this a little bigger so you can always pause and you can type that out if you need be. I'll probably provide a link to just get the script also, but I would suggest typing it out. It helps you memorize it better that way. Okay, so that's our player movement script. Next up, we got to finish our actual player object, which we already have pretty much everything set. The only thing we have to do is add in our code, which will be first a step event, and then we'll go over here to control, and you want to add a code option. So then we'll do player movement. This is our player movement script. First option, which we'll do 4,000, and then our jumping speed. We want rotation lock, and we want our max speed to be 6. So we got our force to be applied left and right, up or jump, and then rotation lock and speed. And then the final thing you have to do is you have to add a collision with object block, and you can just put a comment in there and just leave it blank. That's just so it knows to collide with that object. And then check mark. You can save it. Just save every once in a while, and then if we go ahead and hit the play button, there we go. We have movement. Oh, looks like we got a little error here. Oh, that would be my bad. So if you get that, just go in here and fix it. That is supposed to be a capital S. That's bad typing skills coming back out. Okay. And then we'll hit the play button. Okay. And we have movement and jumping. So there you go. That is a very simple, it looks like we need to increase the gravity somewhat. Make that opening a little bigger too. Which you can go ahead and just do that. If you wanted to do that, you just go in here, go to physics, make that more, or you could also, if you wanted the player to weigh more, you could increase his density, for example, but he won't jump as high. So you can just play around with settings, get it working however you would like it to. Let's say we make that 25. Save, and then we can go ahead and play it. There we go. Move around and everything. So I plan on making a few more of these, and we'll make some more advanced features, maybe some like switches and things like that, so you get an idea how to make a full platformer. This is just the first episode, I guess we'll call it. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and you can check my blog out at bobhoyle.com. That's BOBHOIL.com. Thanks.